going on, guys? Today we're going to be upgrading the intercooler on Devin's 2022 Hyundai Elantra N. We're going to be doing an oil change while we're at it. We got the car all jacked up. Now, I do want to say, jacking the front of this car up is kind of a project. On the Hondas, there's a middle jack point on the subframe. I don't know if any of you guys own this car, but if you do and you know of an easier way to jack this thing up, please let me know down in the comments, because usually what we do, we jack up the rear on both sides, and once we get one side up high enough, we slip a jack stand under the front, and it just seems like we got to bring the rear of the car up so high to get the front jacked up. So truthfully, I'd recommend some ramps. We don't have any. We just went with a jack, and it's so hot today that the jack actually, let me show you guys. The jack actually indented the driveway, so it was a little sketchy getting this thing up. Like I said, guys, Dev's gonna be working on an oil change while we start on the bumper here. We got a couple plastic clips that we can start working on up top, so we're gonna get working on those.
There's 4 clips here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And then there's a bolt here. It feels pretty small. And then these clips up here, I believe, are all to pull it off.
And then same thing on this side, and then there's the under tray.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of the exact same clips, I believe.
All right, cool. So while you're changing the oil, I'll do the top stuff and maybe some of the wheel well stuff as well. All right, guys, so there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 plastic clips, and then up under here, there's gonna be an 8mm bolt that we can get out of there as well. All right, guys, so all the top clips are out of the top of the bumper. We did get both of the fender liners all freed up, as well as the bolts up here. So we're good to start working on the underside. We do have the drain plug in for the oil change. Dev's working on his catch can over here. Actually, this would be a pretty good opportunity to go through some of the mods we have on this thing. We have done a catch can, but I'm just not super stoked on the fact that the dipstick runs through the middle of it. It's not a huge deal, but I would have loved to have the hose kind of come around this side, but that's a separate issue, I suppose. And then we did do a fuel pump. I don't think you can see it. Right, it's underneath the plastics, I believe, down in there, but we did upgrade the fuel pump as well. What brand was that, Dev?
It was Hyundai. We just updated it to the Sonata fuel pump.
Oh, it was a Sonata fuel pump, okay. And there is a recall on those, thank you. So that's an OEM Sonata fuel pump, and there is a recall on these as of right now, which is interesting. We were wondering if maybe the recall, they're just replacing the fuel pump with that Sonata pump. And then we did a blow-off valve too, right?
Yeah, that's down below the, you won't get to see it, but it's below the intake there.
Yeah, so you can't see the, what's up?
Did the spark plugs too.
Oh yeah, spark plugs.
I think we made a video for the mount, the motor mount.
I did record the motor mount. I don't think I posted that though. So we did the, is that an upgraded motor mount?
We did the bushing.
Oh, that's right, that's right. So motor mount, catch can, blow off valve, fuel pump, and now intercooler. And then once we have all of that done, this thing should make, what do you think, maybe 30 or extra horsepower with the tune, something like that? Yeah, that's not bad. Oh, and I probably should have mentioned, we are running the intercooler from 6th Element here. Really cool kit, comes with everything. Hot pipe, cold pipe, the intercooler itself, as well as some clamps down in there. So that should be pretty straightforward to install. Let's keep going. All right, guys, so under the car here, this is where the plastic clips go. And as always, gonna recommend the dandelion picker for these guys. So try and film this one as close as I can. Little indent in there, slide it in, give it a pop. And then you can use the dandelion picker to sort of level it out and work it out nice and easy. You don't want to pry these, you want to let them work themselves out once they're loose. This one in particular is full of dirt, so you can be really gentle as not to break them. And there it goes. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 2 in the middle, and then it goes around the other side as well. All right, guys, there are some bolts under here too for once you get all the plastic clips out. There's gonna be 1, 2, and then I assume 2 more on the other side over there as well. Yeah, so it looks like 4 bolts, and it looks like these are gonna be 10s if I were to guess. All right, guys, so with that bottom piece off, let me show you what it looks like without it under here. There it is, we got the plastic piece removed, and we should be able to get this front bumper off. Oh yeah, I got it, ready?
Yeah.
So you wanna kind of pull and put some tension on it like that, and then the soft part of your finger in there.
So it's down, not up?
Don't push down, but like hook it and pull that way. Flat, there you go. Yeah. Let me show the video there. So if you guys are looking to free up from the headlight here, a good little tip on the corner is, I'll even push this one back in. You can kind of pull and put some tension on it, just like that, but then this one under the headlight will be a little tight. So what I'm gonna do is put a little tension on it there, get my fingers in here, and pull and pop, and that's how you get it to free up from the headlight. All right guys, so with the bumper off, we have our ambient air sensor here, which is gonna need to be removed from the bracket. So there is a clip in the back, guys, just pinch down on the top and bottom and that'll fall right out. We got our plastic shroud that needs to come off too. We got a bolt here and a bolt up top in there as well on both sides. And then we should be able to get at the intercooler itself. There it is, 10mm on the bolts for the shroud here. And this shroud is gonna get deleted, guys, with the new intercooler, so we're not even gonna reuse this. Probably send the bolts back in the holes just so they don't rust out, but I have an impact. I don't know why I'm doing it like it's 1994 here, but that's how we roll. And then same on the other side.
About this sensor cable.
Oh, is it mounted to the shroud? Yeah, I got one over here too. So this one's just clipped in. Two-hander here so we don't damage no cables. Perfect, that's easy. My side's down. And then over here as well, there's gonna be two. You're gonna wanna free up. Oh, what's there, clips back there?
Yeah, I think so. Can you see them?
Probably feel for them. All right guys, so this is that bracket clip here. You just go top and bottom once again, grab that with some pliers and it'll slide right out. And then we got 10s holding the intercooler on once again. Do we loosen these first, you think, or do we do the hoses?
That's a good question.
Might be easier to get the hose off the intercooler while the intercooler's tight. So for the hoses here, guys, got one on the left side, one on the right side. This is the left side. I think we're just gonna do this one and separate it from the engine side. I don't believe we're gonna need to do it from the intercooler just to get this one off. But we are gonna wanna obviously attach the new hoses to the new intercooler and the new piping here. So let's get these off. I think it's just a flathead. Oh, what the hell? So this is the fastener here for the hose clamp, guys. It is a little non-traditional. I actually haven't seen something like this before. It's kind of like the head of a bullet. And so we're gonna quickly look up how to remove this as well. All right, guys, so basically these are little caps. So you should be able to stick like a flathead, or we used a little pry bar to get underneath them, and they actually just pop right off, which is pretty nice. Once you got that freed up, you should be able to stick, I think it's an 8mm or a flathead on there just to loosen up the hose clamp. Now on Devin's side, he is working on the intercooler side first, because we're thinking it's gonna be easier to get way up into the engine bay over here if we have the intercooler out. So this is the driver's side this time, guys. You can see that clamp way up in there. We did get the cap off. The all-star of the day is gonna be this guy here, guys, just a little Harbor Freight pry bar, and that is gonna be an 8mm way up in there. Devin already separated the passenger side hose, so once we get ours off, we should be able to get the intercooler out, and then we'll have one more clamp way up in there. So we are getting just a little bit of a clearance issue up in here, guys. Our clamp on the intercooler side, on the passenger side, is hitting a radiator line, it looks like. So we are gonna loosen that one up as well. We tried to get around it, we couldn't. We're gonna loosen that up too. And there it is, guys. Old intercooler is out. We did take this whole hose off. This was the culprit here. It was catching up on one of the radiator hoses. And so we just loosened this up, popped this off, and it was able to clear. This in here was where it was getting caught. So we got one more tricky guy, which hopefully we're gonna be able to see now from the front side a little better than we were able to on the other side. So way up in there on the driver's side is our last of 4 hose clamps. The cap is off and that upper radiator hose clamp there, guys, or intercooler, sorry. And Dev is just working on getting the bolt loose now on that clamp so we can pull that hose out as well. The new intercooler does come with new hoses, which is great, as well as new clamps, which should be a little bit easier to work with. These guys don't have the caps. Looks like these are just nice hex as well. There's a piece of metal blocking the bolt.
Probably part of the subframe or something, but oh no, it's the blow-off valve.
Oh no, dude. Well, at least we can show the boys the blow-off valve, right? We'll use a wrench. Hold on. Of course, I don't have an 8. It's not a 10, is it? It's an 8. Oh, I don't even have an 8 wrench. Hold on, maybe in here. I think this is gonna be a 10 or a 9. Yeah, dude, I don't even have an 8 wrench. We might have to stick an adjustable up there.
Yeah, the problem is the blow-off valve is directly in front of the bolt, and there's literally not that much space between them.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to wrench it just to loosen the clamp enough, which we don't have a wrench. We have this silly little guy in here. Typical NTNS experience here, guys. All the other videos make it look nice and easy. we share the struggles here. At least get this sized up. I was hoping I had an 8 ratcheting wrench. We could slide up there. We'll let Devin go to town on that one. All right, guys, a little spin down to AutoZone. We're gonna pick up a wrench. How you doing, buddy? Good. So we do need an 8mm wrench. We're gonna take the TSX over to AutoZone, pick that up, and keep going on this thing. Mustang on a scissor jack over there. Crazy. Thank you, sir. You too. There we go. The final piece. And there it is, guys. Final hose removed up there. Funny enough, guys, we're kind of racing the clock tonight because we're gonna go see Wolverine and Deadpool, which I'm really excited about. But obviously, we were hoping to have Devin's car ready for a little cruise on the way over. We're gonna kind of push as hard as we can, try and get this thing all buttoned up. If not, we might have to come back, but we'll update you guys as we move forward. All right, guys, so looking at some of the hosing here, you would think that these are being numbered, but they're not actually. So we had to take a little bit of problem-solving skills here, put it to task. So this is gonna be the driver's side? Passenger side here, with the smaller clamps. So if you guys see the clamps in the package, this one's 54 to 62. That'll go on here. And then there was a 60 to 68 up here on the top. And then there's two 67 to 75s. And these are gonna go on the driver's side. And so that is that. We're gonna connect these all to the engine piping first on the car, and then we'll bring the intercooler over and connect from there. And then we should be good to mount it all up and put the bumper back on. All right, guys, so we got both of the engine side clamps done, both sides. That one is tough. That's the one that hides up in the fan shroud. We had to do it a few times, but we're pretty confident on our bite now, and we're ready to mount the intercooler up. Now we are lining just the outside of the inside of each tube here, guys, with some odorless hairspray. This is supposed to increase the grip that the hoses have on the intercooler piping itself. I guess these are known somewhat for slipping off, so we're just gonna try and mitigate that as best we can here. Ready to slide it on?
It's in there. It's like 80% over the hump. One side just keeps, not even one side, one little piece. There it goes. Let's pop there. Hell yeah.
So what we're doing here, guys, is our ambient airflow sensor. We are recommended to have a clearance of 1/16 of an inch at least, and we do not have that, so we're just gonna pry that out. And there it is, guys. Ambient air sensor reinstalled with honestly, that's like a good 1/4 inch gap there. That's plenty of gap. Up next, we're gonna wanna tighten down the lower hose clamps. And there's lower clamp number 1, guys, passenger side, and number 2 tightened down up there on the driver's side. Up next, I do believe we're ready for a magic trick. We're gonna throw the bumper on the same way it came off. And there it is, guys. Ready to get this thing off the jack stands. Fresh oil, new intercooler. And we did miss the movie dealing with that upper hose clamp on the passenger side there. But that's all right. Way better to have a running car than some kind of dudes in tights, right?
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna get this thing back on the ground and then kind of let the oil circulate, warm up a little bit. Have Devin go for a couple pulls and make sure that the car doesn't pop. We should be good to go. And there we go, guys. All back together on the ground, ready for a test drive here. You can see that intercooler though in the front of it. Thing's looking nice. All right, a little boost run. Make sure this puppy don't pop. 2. No limp mode. Does it feel faster?
It's hard to tell.
Probably won't make the power without a tune, right?
I don't know. I mean, the spec sheets say 5 to 10 horsepower-ish, but I feel like it's probably when your engine's like cooking. You know what I mean? You can actually benefit from the efficiency of more
Cooler air, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Turn faster.
Signals a half mile before it needs to do. Oh my god, dude. Here we go, guys. Few pulls later.
It's just straight.
Yeah, yep, straight. There it is, guys. A few good pulls later, and it sounds like the hoses are still attached, so that's huge. No boost leaks, no limp mode. I think we're good to go. Later, brother.
See you.
Take care, man. That's gonna do it for today's video, guys. If you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys a ton. Super fun project. First intercooler I've ever installed on any car. None of my cars have had turbo, so this has been super fun. Huge shout out to Devin for bringing the car by, as always, to work on. It's been an awesome experience for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Once again, guys, if you made it this far, I appreciate you guys a ton. Make sure to like down below, subscribe as well, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.